Hello and welcome to this program on Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this show we take a look at the latest releases. We will take a look at Salman Khan's latest film Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan and the new horror film Evil Dead Rise. First, let's take a look at Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan. Not that there was a lot of it in the first place in recent times, but this month originality has taken a backseat in Hindi cinema. Another Hindi film, and it turns out to be another remake from the south. This time it is Bhai Salman Khan in a remake of Siva's 2014 Tamil film Veeram. In the original film, the hero had 4 brothers, but here there are only 3 brothers. The number of siblings aside, the storytelling here not only scrapes the bottom of the barrel, it also digs through the earth beneath it. Not that I was expecting a masterpiece, especially after director Farhad Samji's previous film Bachchan Pandey. I was prepared for everything, but I was not quite prepared for this. We get it that certain films are meant to be entertainers, but at least there should be some basic novelty and regard for the intelligence of the audience. The belief that filmmakers actually think that such films entertain the audience is an insult to the audience. Clearly, more effort has gone into erecting the sets than working on the screenplay, dialogues, or direction of the film. The man called Bhai Jaan, played by Salman Khan, has no other name. Everybody calls him Bhai, and his 3 brothers are named Ishq, Moh, and Love. They call him Bhai Jaan. Now, Ishq, Moh, and Love have girlfriends whose names are Sukoon, Muskan, and Chahat. Now, these are their actual names. In what is perhaps the lamest scene I have seen in a while, their uncle, played by the late Satish Kaushik, reveals that the 4 of them are not actually brothers, but they were all in an orphanage and a younger version of Bhai Jaan took them under his wings. The uncle is involved in another awful scene later. Now there's a spoiler ahead, but on second thoughts, no spoiler can spoil this film any further. Now the villain fires a bullet which is about to hit someone till the uncle comes in the way and takes one for the family. And you thought that such scenes were passé, but clearly they aren't. Bhai Jaan has sacrificed everything for his 3 brothers, including his love life and a trip to the barber. Briefly, he had a lover Bhagya, played by Bhagyashri, with a reference to the 1989 film Maine Pyar Kiya, but that love affair didn't last for very long. Now the brothers have to face the consequences of his loveless life because he won't marry, and till he doesn't marry, they cannot marry. Now enter Bhagya number 2, played by Pooja Hegde, who is an antique specialist from the southern part of the country who moves to Delhi for 1 month and stays as a tenant in Bhai Jaan's house. And this gives the brothers the bright idea that they can spark some romance between the 2 of them. Incidentally, Pooja Hegde, the actress, was born a year after Maine Pyar Kiya was released, but then age is just a number, as they say. Now Bhagya number 2 also has a brother played by Venkatesh who cherishes non-violence above everything else, which obviously means he had a violent past, and this point is reiterated more than once. The villains in the film are so deathly dull that even ChatGPT could have written better characters. Actually, ChatGPT could have done a better job with the whole film. In the climax, Bhai Jaan beats one of them to death with his head, giving headbanging a new meaning altogether. Being a Salman Khan film, there is plenty of slow motion, and he even gets to take off his shirt and you get to yawn. Not just Salman, even the brothers and the villains have shots in slow motion, and there's an unabashed product endorsement for a cola company right after an action sequence. And then there are those pointless songs that pop up every 20 minutes or so. The budget of each of those songs could easily finance a couple of independent films. Salman Khan does what Salman Khan has done a zillion times before. He could have phoned in his performance and no one would have noticed. As for the rest, there isn't much to write home about. If you take your date for this movie and he or she likes it, you should give your relationship a second thought. If you both like it, then you are made for each other. I'm going to go with 1 star for this new Salman Khan film, Kisi Ka Migraine, Kisi Ka Headache. The success of Evil Dead back in 1981 prompted Sam Raimi to come up with 2 sequels, one in 1987 and then one in 1993 respectively. There was a reboot in 2013, and 10 years later, we have the 5th Evil Dead film in the form of Evil Dead Rise. Directed by Lee Cronin, the film delivers what is expected of it. A bunch of scares, creepy situations, and gore that attempts to push the limits. A cheese grater is used, eyeballs pop out, body parts are dismembered, heads are decapitated, and blood flows from an elevator in what looks like a nod to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which was released back in 1980. In fact, the manner in which the opening scene is set near a lake also reminded me of Kubrick's classic, but that is perhaps coincidental. A couple of friends are vacationing in a cabin when casualty strikes. The scene then shifts to an urban setting in a rather derelict apartment building a day prior to the previous incident. Ellie, played by Alyssa Sutherland, is a single mother who is having her own motherhood issues with her 3 kids, the 2 teens, Bridget and Danny, and a younger one called Cassie. The first scene involving Cassie, where she cuts a doll, sets the tone for what is to follow. Ellie's sister Beth, played by Lily Sullivan, shows up after a pregnancy test, and clearly the 2 sisters also have sister issues. When an earthquake strikes, it not only rattles the building but unleashes a force that takes over Ellie, resulting in rather dire consequences for everyone around. A book, vinyl records, and an overtly curious teen brings out a spirit that possesses the mother, and even though there is some extreme gore here, Cronin keeps you engaged. There is an attempt to use the medium to its fullest, whether it is a sound, lighting, or camera. Initially, there are quite a few shots with close-ups, giving a sense of claustrophobia, and also that way you can't see much of what is transpiring behind. The lighting and the sound design are from the top drawer. The acting also deserves a mention, particularly Lily Sullivan and Alyssa Sutherland. Evil Dead Rise also has a few tropes from horror movies that could have been avoided, but otherwise it is on the money. I'm going to go with 3 out of 5 stars for this new Evil Dead film called Evil Dead Rise. Well, that's what I thought of the Salman Khan film and the horror film that was released this week. Do let us know what you think. Our address is features@prudentmedia.in, and I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.